Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Nerf Modulus Recon MKIII. This is one of the blasters from my Black Friday haul. If you didn't see that video, I'll have it linked at the end of the video, as well as the description. According to the Nerf Wiki, this blaster came out in 2021. It also says 2020 on the box, and currently retails for $33.99 USD, though I purchased this blaster on Black Friday for $28.99 USD. There's not a lot of info on this box other than the recommended age being ages 8+, and a small list of content. It includes blaster, stock, barrel, shield, clip, magazine, 12 darts, and instructions. So without further ado, let's get this thing out of the box and see what's inside. Alright, so here we have the Recon MKIII out of the box. We're going to be starting off with our instructions here. Very simple set of instructions. Tells you how to use the blaster, how to load the blaster, how to clear jams. And here we have our darts. These are the Modulus themed Nerf Elite darts, the white body and orange tip. You get 12 of these. You also get this 12 round magazine here. A very simple barrel extension. A stock with magazine storage. Seems to hold it pretty well. We have our shield that flips up and down. And I want to say that is supposed to be crosshairs. And now onto the Recon MKIII itself. So this is a very simple slide prime blaster. Pull the slide back to prime it. Insert your magazines, like so. Push forward to load the dart. And pull the trigger to fire. You have your magazine release. It is ambidextrous. Very easy to remove magazines. There is this release button here, but I can't seem to get it to work. Usually these are meant to be able to pull your slide or move your actions back while the blaster is fully primed, which this blaster is currently fully primed, but doesn't seem to be really working for me. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. Leave a comment if I'm doing something wrong. Maybe we'll figure out how this thing works later on in the video. We have a jam door under the slide. Very convenient place to unjam your blaster. The blaster features 2 rails, one on the top of the slide and one on the side of the blaster. We also have a front barrel lug and our stock attachment point. All right, let's check magazine compatibility. First, we have our 18 round magazines. Seems to fit perfectly fine. Seems to catch. 25 round drum. Also seems to work perfectly fine. How about the Dart Zone 12 round magazine? That's cool, it actually catches. 15 round Dart Zone Pro magazine. Does lock forward and everything. Pretty cool. So, seems to be compatible with quite a few magazines. Of course, I don't have every style of magazine on hand, so can't go full into that. I'll load this blaster up with darts just to check to see if it fires. Fire it. There is no slam fire. There is no slam fire on this blaster, which I kind of expected because this is a redesign of a previously existing blaster, which is probably why it's called the Recon MKIII. There is a Recon MKII, which I think came from the Nerf Modulus line, though I think it came with a couple different accessories rather than these exact ones here. There also is the Nerf Elite Retaliator. This is a pretty well-known blaster. I've seen a lot of people mod these and stuff, and it is one of my favorite blasters. But this blaster is called the Recon MKIII, not the Retaliator MKIII. And its name comes from this blaster right here. This is the Recon CS6. According to the patent date on the blaster, it came out in 2007. Pretty old blaster, and in fact is the very first Nerf blaster I've ever owned. You actually have all of its original accessories too, including its original magazine. So it's pretty cool to see this design kind of evolve over the years into what we have here, the Recon MKIII. And of course, we do have the other iterations like the Elite 2.0 Echo and its predecessor, the Delta Trooper. But I don't really consider them to be part of the same family, even though they're kind of this modular style blaster. I maybe consider them more of a cousin of the Recon line rather than being a direct relative. But anyway, that's enough talk about this blaster. Let's get this thing out on the range and see how it fares. All right, so here we are down at the range. We'll start off with our distance test. As usual, for context, the chicken marks 25 feet, the swan marks 35 feet, the frog marks 40 feet, and the far back wall marks 50 feet from where I'm standing. We're going to be starting off with Nerf Elite. We're going to be firing 10 shots of each dart today. Let's see how this fares. Moving on to Adventure Force. We had a jam. It's a pretty old dart though, so I don't blame it. Okay, keep a note. Adventure Force, old Adventure Force starts to jam. And lastly, we have Dart Zone. All right, so let's talk about the results. So Nerf kind of is just going all over the place. Can't really tell where it was landing. Kind of feel like it was going beyond the 35-foot mark, so beyond the swan, but at the same time, kind of not. They're kind of just curving around, back and forth, hitting random things. Kind of hard to tell where they were landing. But when it comes to Adventure Force and Dart Zone, they both seem to be consistent landing kind of in between the chicken and swan, more towards the swan. So right around the 30 to 35 foot mark for both of those. Of course, these were all straight shots, no angles or anything like that. But anyway, with that all the way, let's move on to our accuracy test. All right, so here we are at the accuracy test. As you can see, we have our targets set up over there. We're gonna be starting off with Nerf Elite. And I'm gonna be firing 5 shots with the barrel and 5 shots without the barrel. We'll see if it affects accuracy. By the way, that I'm guessing is your sight picture because there's like a little crosshair on the shield. With it folded down, you also don't really get one. And I guess if you take the shield off, you have the rail to aim with. Let's see if we can hit anything. Oh, hit the target. Not what I was aiming at. Hit the ground. Also not what I was aiming at either. All right, moving on to no barrel. Didn't see much of a difference, but that's with Nerf. Let's see if it affects the other darts. So next we have Adventure Force. Okay, this is with barrel. This is without. Yeah, it doesn't appear to be affecting the darts that much, if at all. So let's see if it affects Dart Zone. Taking the barrel off. Let's see that. So, I've come to the conclusion that the barrel doesn't actually affect the blaster's accuracy at all. I mean, if it is, it's very negligible. Doesn't seem to jam, doesn't seem to have any issues with it. So I'm just gonna go out and say, if you're using this particular barrel extension with the Mark III, you should be good. Anyway, that's all the tests. Let's bring this thing back to the table and give out my final thoughts. All right, here we are back at the table. I'm going to be talking about the Recon Mark III. Overall, I really like this blaster. I think it's a very solid blaster. There's pretty good build quality on it. It's pretty comfortable. Really like this grip. Also really like this stock, especially with the magazine storage in it. Has a pretty smooth prime and a very nice trigger pull. Like how the magazine release is ambidextrous and very easy to use. Really like the customization options you get on this blaster with the stock attachment point, barrel attachment point, and the 2 rails. That's really nice. Also like how it can use dart zone magazines. That's really nice. There's been a lot of blasters I've reviewed that can't use dart zone magazines, but this one can, so that's definitely a positive here. Also works with other brands of darts. Now I know I don't have all the brands of darts, but at least the ones I have seems to run just fine. If there's anything negative I have to say about this blaster, it's definitely its shield. I really don't like this shield. It's just kind of clunky, makes the blaster really bulky. So I don't even like having it on the blaster. That's pretty much one of its only negatives I have to say about it, other than its retail price. It currently retails on Amazon, as of the recording of this video, for $33.99 USD. I do know at the beginning of the video I didn't mention where I purchased these blasters. They were from Amazon, so I do apologize for that. While I would definitely recommend picking up this blaster, I would suggest picking it up on sale. Even though it's a really solid blaster, $34 feels a little bit steep to me. But those are just my thoughts on the Recon Mark III. What are your thoughts on this blaster? Comment those down below. Also comment what else you want to see on the channel. Be sure to check out the Black Friday haul video, which is where this blaster was first featured. Also check out my other reviews. I'll have both those linked at the end of the video. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.